Hi, my name's Steve, and I'm about to show you my basement. First thing you see when walking down the stairs to the basement is these portraits that my wife's stepmom painted for us for our wedding. She did it as a gift for us. They turned out really nice. And then you walk down, you see this little antique organ. Doesn't seem like it's going to be much of a man cave. This was here when we purchased the house from my mother-in-law, and she really likes it, so we decided to keep it for her because she doesn't have room in her new place. But then you go around the corner and you see the beginnings of the man cave. We've got a little arcade corner here, a couple exercise machines. The first couple arcades, the first one you'll see is Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. They are the arcade one-up wall mount machines. Having kids, it just saves a little space, and they love them. They like to sit on the little stools and play arcade games. Over here we've got the Rampage machine, and we've got the Simpsons arcade that has the regular Simpsons arcade and the bowling. And down here we've got our arcade one-up infinity game table, which is basically a tablet that plays a bunch of different board games. We get a lot of use out of this thing because it can connect to some of our siblings because they have some and we can play online together. Next thing you're going to notice over here is we've got the Star Wars helmet and the beginning of my little lightsaber collection that I have here. This one was made in Disney World. I made it myself. It's one of the Power and Defense builds. After that, I ended up buying a couple of the holocrons and a few more of the Legacy Sabers. I've got Emperor Palpatine's here, or Darth Sidious, and Count Dooku's right over here. I just have the hilts for those. You can get blades to go with them, but I like the way that they look in that little display case. I also have a few of the little crystals here that go in the build your lightsaber, and you can change the color of the blades on those. And then also in the little wall here, we've got the maps that came with our wands that we bought in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios. The maps show the different parks and where you can use the wands to interact in the park and do a little quote-unquote magic. And then we just have one of the Gringotts Bank notes because I thought that was pretty cool, so we mounted that on there as well. And then over here are the actual wands we got in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. These we purchased there, and I got this little wall mount from Etsy because I thought that was pretty cool. Over here we've got our little viewing area, which is where we watch movies, football games, and stuff like that. I also do a little gaming here myself on the PS5 or the Nintendo Switch. We've got some Packer stuff on the walls here because we are big Packer fans in this house. We live about 30 minutes south of Green Bay, so I've pretty much been a Packer fan my whole life. Over here on the little end table here, we've got a little flower orchid that my wife made out of Legos because, as you'll see in a second, we also like our Legos here. Which brings us over here to the entertainment center. This is a bit outdated of an entertainment center, but I like the look of it. It's kind of neat. It's like retro. This also was here when we bought the basement from my in-laws, and it was just kind of too big for us to take out, so we did what we wanted to with it, which includes displaying some of our other Legos that we've built as a family. We've got a bunch of the Mario ones, as you can see here. The Friends Apartment Lego set, which is another one of my personal favorites. It took my wife and I think about 2 days to build, a total of probably 6 or 7 hours, I would say. It was a pretty fun build. Then back over here is our little bar and pub area, I guess. We like to call it Schumacher's Tavern. As you can see over here, I do have a little sign that states Schumacher's Tavern. It was made by a buddy of mine. He's got a laser engraver, and he did some glass for me too that I will show in a little bit. But we'll come back over here. We've got a little game table here. It's we use it for when we have parties. People can sit, just an extra place to like eat or whatever, while having a nice view of the TV mounted over there and the one on the bar. The top of the game table does flip over and it turns into a poker table, and it also comes completely off and it turns into a bumper pool table. That's why I've got the sticks on the wall there, although they're also a bit outdated and I need to upgrade those a little bit. We've got the dartboard on the wall here with the lights that I put around it. It's just like everything in my basement here, all the lights and electronics are controlled by the Amazon Echo devices. They all change colors, they're all voice activated, just a little touch that I kind of enjoy. Over here, we also have the Packer wall here with Darth Vader and his Aaron Rodgers jersey, although we may need to update that in the near future as well. We've got some bobbleheads, some pictures. I've got a few bottles here signed by Packers. I've got Charles Woodson's bourbon right here, Charles Woodson's wine, both autographed by Charles Woodson. I have Leroy Butler's vodka here, Leap, that's also signed by Leroy Butler. You can kind of see it there. In addition to that, I also have Antonio Freeman's bourbon, but it was too tall to put on the shelf, so I have it displayed over behind the bar. We've got our little gas fireplace here, which also is controlled by Amazon and is voice activated, which is pretty neat. Another one of the routines I set up for our smart home for when we're watching movies, considering I'm a big Star Wars fan, is I can say things like, Alexa,
this is the way.
As you can see, it turns all the lights blue down here, and it plays the Mandalorian theme song for your viewing pleasure. And that's going to bring us right over here to the bar. As you can see, I've got a few different neons lit up. I've got a little TV on the bar. We've got the really funky orange bar stools. We've got a couple different flights here. We've got the stave flight that you could put in whiskey tasting glasses. It's specifically made for that. And then I've got the beer tasting flight over here. Those are kind of just fun for when we're like hosting parties and people want to try different things. I usually have a pretty good selection of different bourbons and beer. So over here on the shelf here, you can see we've got all my different, some of my favorite bourbons up here. I have a few more in a couple of cabinets over there, and then in this cabinet over here too. And of course, we've got our little mini fridge down here that is filled with some different high-end craft beers and such like that, and then a few more bottles on top of it. Also have a full-size fridge behind the bar that is always fairly stocked with beer. I would open it and show you, but I think it's a little disorganized right now. After that, you can take a look behind the bar here. It's a typical bar. We've got all of our glassware on the top shelf. I've got a sink, so it is considered a wet bar. We've got some different bottles of alcohol and some backups of bottles of alcohol and some mixers on the bottom. We got a nice little microwave if you want to heat up some snacks and such. I was also telling you before how I have a buddy that made that sign for me, and right here is the glassware that he made to go with the bar. It does also have our little Schumacher's Tavern logo on it, which you can kind of see there. But just a nice little touch that I felt kind of personalized the bar. Another one of the fun little routines I set up for the Amazon Echo devices down here for when we're having parties, because all the lights are color changing. I can go ahead and say, Alexa, let's go Packers.
Okay.
And as you can see, she turns all the lights alternating green and yellow. Even the ones back here, well, you can't see, but behind the dartboard there. And all the lights in the entire basement are all Packer themed now.